Safety is of utmost importance to my organization, to SWANA, and to our industry. I know that, I think yesterday, John Vander Ark said it's the 5th most dangerous industry. That was one of his statistics. And so being mindful and practicing ways that we can increase safety in our industry is of utmost importance. So it's my pleasure to introduce our next keynote, Zachary Barnett. Zachary is the director for the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration Office here in Phoenix, and he's going to provide some insights around how you can further your safety goals. So please help me welcome Mr. Barnett.
Good morning, and thank you all very much. Wow, that was really something. This was, for me, it's sort of like being backstage and getting a full body massage just before I get to go out and talk to you all. Very, very relaxing. It was also like one of my, I don't know if y'all are like me and have some favorite TED Talks, but that would certainly rank up there among some of the best TED Talks that I've seen. So to start with, I want to tell you, it was probably about 30 years ago. I was an undergraduate student at Rutgers University, and I took a class in solid waste management. And as it turned out, that was one of the best classes and one of the most memorable classes I ever took. I've thought about that class an awful lot since then and what I gained from it. And I think if we went back in time and talked to Dr. Fine, who was my professor at the solid waste management class, and asked him what I learned, I think that he would say, not a whole heck of a lot. But that's not true. I did learn a few things. And one of the things I learned is that if you're going to work in the solid waste industry, you really need to be a custodian of the environment. And over the last 3 decades, this industry has rose to that occasion to be a custodian of the environment. But the industry and its leadership has gone above and beyond that expectation. And SWANA is becoming an industry that's recognizing the importance of being a custodian of worker safety. As recently as back in 2016, in the waste management remediation services industry, there were 32 fatal injuries and 11,000 non-fatal injuries and illnesses. It's a little awkward, a little strange talking about statistics like that because those aren't good statistics. 11,000 non-fatal injuries and illnesses, I don't know what that means. I know that some of those were bumps and bruises, but I know that some of those were life-altering injuries and illnesses that affected individuals and affected their families. I know those 32 fatal injuries meant 32 lives. I think we should reflect on what brought this about. What are the fatal events that happen in the solid waste industry? Well, primarily they come from transportation incidents, but they also come from what we in OSHA call struck by objects or struck by equipment. Now, what about the non-fatal events that we've had? Well, those are also transportation incidents, and they're also struck by objects and equipment. But they're also the sprains and strains that we see commonly, the slips, trips, and falls that happen, and they're also exposure to harmful substances. SWANA decided that something has to be done and endeavored to make some changes in the industry, and there have been changes. One of them I would mention would be simply the participation in OSHA's Safe and Sound Week, where they work with small businesses and large businesses alike to ensure a commitment to safety and health programs and to a proactive approach to recognizing and preventing injuries and illnesses before they occur. Moreover, as recently as a month ago, David signed an alliance. This alliance was between SWANA, the National Waste Recycling Association, and OSHA. Now you might be asking yourself, did we just let the fox into the hen house? I think it's a fair question, but the answer is resoundingly no. OSHA has enforcement. We had enforcement 6 months ago, and it's the same as today. It'll be the same in another 6 months, but actually, honestly, after that, I'm hoping OSHA enforcement will be perhaps a little bit less in this industry as a result of this alliance. The alliance was signed because of your leadership's recognition, of your desire to lead to greater workplace protection in the solid waste and recycling industry. Now, from my perspective, and we have these alliances, I ask myself, why is it that we do have these alliances? We in OSHA, well, we know worker protection. In your industry, you know solid waste. But too often, what we don't know is we don't know enough about each other. Through the years of the alliances that OSHA has signed, we have learned that together we can make workplaces safer. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about some of the highlights of this alliance and what we're trying to do with it. What are some of the benefits that you should gain from it? Well, OSHA is going to share our enforcement data with you and our initiatives, our enforcement initiatives, more information about our regulations, and even proposed rulemaking that might come your way. So from my mind, it gives you a seat at the table. We seek to develop means to protect the workers from common hazards like backovers, distracted driving, needle sticks, slips, trips, and falls, and heat illness. To me, the most important part of this alliance is that we can collaborate to develop innovative solutions to protect all workplaces from injuries and illnesses. So at this point, you might be sitting back and thinking, okay, well, I'm a member of SWANA, and this is why I'm a member, and this is a good thing, but that's kind of high-level leadership stuff. And perhaps it is. Perhaps you're thinking, well, I come from a small or a medium-sized business from Fortville, Indiana, or maybe even Santa Rita, Guam. Well, the fact is, we have an OSHA presence all over the United States and throughout all of our territories. We have a presence that's there to work with you and to help you. For one, quite simply, there's our phone. You can always call us, 800-321-OSHA. Couldn't get any simpler than that, 800-321-OSHA. Outside of that, of course, we have our website, osha.gov. And I'll tell you about some of the resources that you can get if you call our office or if you go on a website. But one of the main takeaways is it's all free and it's confidential. It's yours to use to help you with your businesses and to keep them safer. So if you go on our website, you're going to find how-to videos covering an assortment of different topics. But you're also going to find e-tools. And these e-tools are going to cover hazard identification, lockout, tagout, forklifts, and even ergonomics. You'll find our publications on there, all free to print. This is going to cover personal protective equipment, workplace violence, electrical safety, and of course you'll find our regulations on there that's applicable to the most germane part of your business or your part of the industry. But maybe you want more than just what you're going to find on a website, and we have more to offer. We have our compliance assistance specialists, we have consultation services, and we have cooperative programs and some small business resources. First, I want to tell you about our compliance assistance specialists. Most OSHA offices have a compliance assistance specialist. And what's that person's job? Quite simply, it's helping you to stay in compliance with OSHA regulations. That's their main goal. And how do they do that? Well, they speak at seminars or other speaking events. They can host them. They'll meet one-on-one with you, or they'll even have meet in a group, or again, host a group. You can contact them to ask them general compliance questions. Although for that matter, you can call that number I gave you before and ask anybody at OSHA general compliance questions. We have no desire to ask who you are or where you are, just we take a look at your condition and the best of you can explain it to us, and we'll try to help you comply with our OSHA standards. We also have our cooperative programs. This alliance is one of those cooperative programs, but we have others. We have partnerships, often at a specific job site where we work to achieve specific safety goals. And then we have SHARP and VPP. You've probably run into companies that are involved in SHARP and VPP. These are, frankly, outstanding companies that don't just get it. They have an outstanding safety culture on par with no one except other VPP and SHARP companies. I always enjoy working with VPP and SHARP companies. We have our small business resources to help you. This includes anywhere from Spanish publications, success stories, and even our explanation about how Small Business Regulatory and Enforcement Fairness Act may apply. Last but not least, we have the consultation services, and I view this as something that's very in-depth if you want it to be. The Consultation Services of OSHA, and again, this is available throughout anywhere in our states or territories. They'll help you with your safety and health program. They will help you write a portion of it, or a lot of it, or a little bit of it, and they'll do on-site visits. They will actually come out to your job site and look at as little or as much as you want and help you with complying, looking for job safety hazards and helping you come into compliance with those. My sales pitch for consultation is this: it's free, they have no enforcement powers, and they're confidential. If I were a small business owner, that's an entity that I would definitely have come out to my place of business. In conclusion, I want to invite you to leverage this OSHA Alliance. The fact is, it won't work without your cooperation, without your help. And how you do this? Well, contact your local OSHA office. Share resources. And together, we might achieve that goal of just happening to save a life. Thank you.
Thank you, Zachary. So in continuation of our focus on safety, it is my pleasure to introduce Tom Parker with Jacobs. He's also the chair of SWANA's Safety Committee, and David Biederman, SWANA's CEO, as we recognize some significant achievements, milestones in safety. Gentlemen.
Good morning. It's my honor and pleasure to announce SWANA's Safety Awards. But first, I want to thank our sponsors, Autocar, New Way, Auto, and Preco Electronics. So first, I want to announce the Best Safety Innovation. We congratulate the City of San Antonio Solid Waste Management Department. Accepting for the City of San Antonio is Solid Waste Manager Walter Barrett.
Good morning, professionals. On behalf of the City of San Antonio Solid Waste Management Department, we are looking to make a difference in our industry. We want to uncover those ideas. We have included everyone within our department as part of this safety process. We get support at all various levels of our department, and we are greatly supported by our ELT as well as our employees. And we truly thank you. Thanks, SWANA, for this award. Thank you.
Our next award is for the biggest safety improvement. We'd like to recognize Lakeshore Recycling System as the winner. Unfortunately, they could not attend today, but let's give them a big shout out. Our next award is an honorable mention award. I'd like to recognize the City of Casper Regional Landfill. Thank you very much. And then finally, I want to thank all the nominees. I want to thank members of the Safety Committee and also our sponsors. With that, nothing we do is more important in our industry. And with David Biederman's leadership, we have really elevated SWANA's role in the safety industry. And I want to just thank everyone for being here today. And let's make sure we get all our workers home safe every night. Thank you.